Hello. Welcome back to Module 5, Information has Value. Today, we will finish Section 1, Using Information Ethically. In this video, which is the second of two on this subject, we will talk about intellectual property and the various ideas around the subject of copyright. The subject of intellectual property can include such things as trade secrets, but you will encounter little of those here at Barton. Instead, intellectual property concerns should be directed to those things that may be submitted for copyright, such as instructional materials, online courses, creative works, scholarly works, and technology. Additionally, college logos and other branding are protected by trademarks, and specific inventions may be safeguarded by patents. The college has addressed the issue of intellectual property in Procedure 2470, which gives a fuller description. See the library's copyright webpage for more information or ask your subject specialist librarian. During your time here at Barton, copyright will be the most consequential topic for you regarding intellectual property. Copyright law is derived from the United States Constitution, specifically Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8. To promote the progress of science and useful arts, by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. This right is specified in Title 17 of the U.S. Code, also known as the Copyright Act of 1976. Once the creator of an intellectual or artistic work copyrights their output, they have the exclusive right to reproduce the work, prepare derivative works based on the original, distribute copies to the public, perform or display the work publicly, and assign their rights to others. These protections extend to literary, musical, and dramatic works, pantomimes and choreographic works, pictorial, graphic, and sculptural works, motion pictures and other audiovisual works, sound recordings, and architectural works. Copyright protections do not extend to ideas, procedures, systems, methods of operation, concepts, principles, discoveries, or processes. See the library's copyright webpage for more information or ask your subject specialist librarian. For the most part, unauthorized uses of copyrighted work violate the law and becomes copyright infringement. The one major exception is the doctrine of fair use, which can be found in Section 107 of the Copyright Act. This definition is long, so stay with me. Fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phonorecords or by any other means specified by that section, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship or research, is not an infringement of copyright. In determining whether the use made of a work in any particular case is a fair use, the factors to be considered shall include the purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of a commercial nature or is for non-profit educational purposes, the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, and the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. The fact that a work is unpublished shall not itself bar a finding of fair use if such finding is made upon consideration of all the above factors. Open access initiatives have been around since at least 1991 in the early days of the Internet. However, the Budapest Open Access Initiative, adopted in 2002, was the real springboard for the issue. Open access refers to digital materials that are freely accessible online, free of charge, and free of copyright and reproduction restrictions. The concept behind open access is to serve as an alternative to technical, legal, and financial barriers such as paywalls. Open access provides free admittance to scholarship as well as fostering the open exchange of ideas. Creative Commons are a form of open licensing that is in use in open education and open access projects. Open access materials and open educational resources, also known as OER, will frequently use Creative Commons licenses. There are several types of licenses and a description of each is available on the library's copyright webpage. Materials, including texts, images, audio, and discoveries, that are in the public domain are free of all intellectual property rights and can be used in any manner seen fit. These can include United States government works. Materials that are not protected by copyright, either because the copyright expired or a renewal was not properly filed, or works that are dedicated to the public domain. Note that this is different than Creative Commons licensing. Thus, they can be used without permission or paying a usage fee. Remember, no matter whether your source is open access, Creative Commons licensed, or in the public domain, you have an ethical, academic obligation to provide proper attribution. Next time, we will finish Module 5 by discussing the subject of attribution and citation. Until then, thank you for your time. If you want to learn more about the subjects we have discussed, these are the sources used for Part 2.